Hey, what's up everyone? CJ here, hope you're all doing well. Welcome to the first video in this series I'm doing on how to record your drums. So a lot of you guys out there write to me on a regular basis, whether it's here on YouTube or my other social media platforms, that you really enjoy the sound of my drum set, and I really appreciate that. And I know that many of you out there might want to get into this whole world of recording drums, so I thought I'd make a video course on how to get started with setting up your own home studio. Now, I'm well aware that I'm fortunate to have this rehearsal space that I've kind of converted into my own studio as well. And I know a lot of you out there might not have access to a space like this to build your own studio in, but what I'm gonna go over in this series of videos will help you with your recording setup, whether it's in your bedroom, a garage, or whatever. Before we dive into this, I wanna be clear that I'm not a professional recording engineer. I haven't studied studio recording or audio engineering. I'm self-taught and I just got the interest and curiosity on learning how to record myself. Just like yourself, I started out knowing nothing about this and I've learned a lot along the way. Most of this I've learned from watching professionals on YouTube. My girlfriend who studied production and audio engineering has helped me out a lot. And I've been fortunate to learn from professional recording engineers in bigger studios that I've been in recording drums. So except for this video series, if you want to get better at recording, try to get to know some awesome engineers and learn from them. You'll learn a lot from just sitting in and listening to someone who works in a studio. Okay, with that out of the way, in this first video, we're going to go through the equipment that you need to be able to record your drums. So let's kick it off. All right, the absolute first thing you need to record your drums is a room. And if you just want to record your drums for fun, you don't need to go crazy soundproofing the room. Again, as I mentioned, this is a rehearsal space. So before I moved in here, this room was already at a minor level sound treated a bit. And I've actually soundproofed the room even more since then. But this is far from what you would call a professional recording studio. And since that's not what we're after, this will work fine for you as well. I can tell you right now that even though I absolutely love recording in here, it's definitely not optimal, since this house is filled with rehearsal rooms. Sometimes when I come here to record, there's a band rehearsing rock or metal in the room next to mine, and I can't really tell them to quiet down because they pay to practice here as well. But somehow, it's worked out anyway. But whatever you have access to, use it. You don't have to spend a fortune on expensive soundproofing gear. Instead, you can use stuff you probably have laying around at home. A few things that can help soundproofing, for example, a bedroom, is mattresses, carpets, and a shelf with random amounts of objects in the shelves, like a bookshelf. So this will work as a diffuser in your room. Okay, we got the room covered, let's move on. Okay, the most important part. If you want to be able to record drums, you'll obviously need a drum set. So right now I've got my SNARE ProLite kit set up, and just for the sake of keeping things minimal, I've set it up as a fairly standard 5-piece kit with kick, snare, rack tom, and then 2 floor toms. You certainly don't need an expensive, nice setup to record your drums. If you have the budget for a really nice drum set, then go for it. You know, nicer kits are generally better sounding, and to me, they're easier to tune than drum sets in the, cheaper price range. Just know that depending on how you play, your room, and how well you tune the drums, an expensive kit won't do you any favors. The next thing you need are microphones, and of course, depending on your budget, you might have to start with just 2 mics. And I'm actually going to show you how to record with just 2 microphones, but that's for another video. A few trusted brands to look out for, just to name a few, are Beyerdynamic, Shure, SE Electronics, Sennheiser, and AKG. They all make fantastic microphones at all levels. So for the sake of this video series, we're going to use 2 overhead microphones and then individual mics for each drum in our setup. Now, before you might think something in the line of,
"Well, CJ, that's easy for you to say. I've seen you use pretty expensive microphones."
yes, and I've saved up money for years in order to buy microphones that I really like. But, as I've mentioned in previous videos, I recommend buying recording gear secondhand, because you can find really good microphones at a much lower price. That's how I started out. I started recording my drums with a Samson 5 kit that I found on eBay for about $100. All right, let's walk through the microphones that you actually need. So for overheads, you want to use condenser microphones, and there are a bunch of different options to choose from. If you want lightweight and space-saving overheads, you might want to go with small diaphragm pencil condensers. The ones I'm using right now are the AKG C414 XL2. It's a large diaphragm condenser, fantastic microphone, but they're also really expensive, especially if you buy a stereo pair of them. So if if you're just starting out, I'd go for a pair of cheaper pencil mics. For close mic in the drums, I'd go with dynamic microphones, since they get the job done and they're more often cheaper than condenser mics. For the snare drum, you can't go wrong with the trusty Shure SM57. If you buy it new, you'll find it for about $100. The mic I'm using for the top of my snare drum is the Beyerdynamic M201, and on the bottom of the snare drum, I've got the Shure SM57. Again, if you're just starting out, you don't necessarily need a mic on the bottom of your snare drum, but if you want to capture a bit more of the snare wires to blend with your sound, it's a nice touch. On the toms, I'm actually using condenser mics right now, and these are the Beyerdynamic TGD58. I also really enjoy using the Sennheiser MD421. In my opinion, they're one of the absolute best dynamic microphones you can get for your toms, but also really expensive. The TGD58 sound really awesome, and what I like about these is that they clamp onto the toms with this little spring clamp, so they don't take up a lot of space and you don't need a stand for your microphone. And I think that all the brands that I mentioned earlier, they make some sort of clamp-on microphone like this one. So if you want a smaller mic on your toms, I mean, just do some research and you're good to go. And lastly, for the bass drum, right now I'm using 2 microphones, which is completely optional. If you go with just 1 microphone, I'd recommend the AKG D112. This particular mic has been a studio standard since like the 70s, so if you're just using 1 mic for the bass drum, I'd go with this one. I'm also using the Beyerdynamic TGD71 inside the bass drum. And getting to blend 2 microphones for the bass drum can really bring out a punchy but boomy sound as well. But using 1 microphone will get the job done, and whatever you find will most likely work. You can even get a really nice sound out of the bass drum using an SM57. So again, when it comes to mics, keep it simple and keep a lookout for secondhand options. Microphone bundles are usually a great way to save some money and getting everything you need. Next thing you need for all those microphones are mic cables. And unless you have some really old, weird microphone from before the 1960s, you want to get some XLR microphones. These come in various price tags, but usually they're very cheap. You can probably get a big bundle for under $100. Do not make the mistake I did when I was pretty new at this, buying 1 XLR cable for $60. Some in-store sellers will tell you,
"Oh, this cable has even better noise reduction," and yada yada.
and for simple home recordings, you won't be able to hear the difference anyway. So just get a bundle of cables for the least amount of money possible. Just make sure to get cables that are at least 6 meters long, or if you're in the US, about 20 feet. Because you never know if you want to move your mics around, and short cables will limit your setup. One thing you'll want to do with your XLR cables is to mark them with a number or a name with like a piece of tape at the end of it. This will help you remember which cable goes into which microphone when you're setting up. And why you want to do that, we'll cover that next. Okay, the next important thing you'll need to record your drums is an audio interface, and this is the heart of your recording setup. The audio interface essentially converts the analog signals from your microphones into digital signals that goes into your computer, which you also need to record, but we'll get to that. So the interface then sends the signals from your computer back into your headphones, which are connected into the audio interface. For drums, the main thing to think about is how many microphone inputs do I need? Now, there are a ton of different audio interfaces options to choose from, but whatever you get, I would suggest you get at least an 8-channel interface. Starting out, you might not even use 8 channels to begin with, but it's nice to have because you might add microphones as you go along. The one I use is the Evo 16 from a company called Audient. This is a great, fairly budget-friendly interface with 8 channels, meaning I can record up to 8 microphones at once and I'm all set. Now, I tend to have bigger drum setups here in my studio, so I usually need more than 8 microphones when I record, and that's why I've gotten this Evo SP8 as well, also from Audient, and this is an 8-channel preamp. So this is connected via ADAT optical cables into the Evo 16, allowing me to record an additional 8 microphones, so I can use 16 microphones in total. This is really nice when you want to record with more microphones, but again, most of you will probably just need 8 channels, so just check out which interface that suits your budget. And that's also why you want to label your XLR cables so you can easily check which cable goes into which channel in the interface. Now, in order to be able to record your signals from your microphones into your audio interface, you need a computer. And what computer you get or already have is totally up to you and your budget. You don't need to get the most powerful computer in the world, but if you can afford a better computer with at least 8 gigs of RAM, that's what I'd suggest. Whether you should get PC or Mac, that can be discussed in the comments. Personally, I use my MacBook Pro M2 chip with the 16 gig RAM. And this is a laptop since I have to bring it here and then bring it back home. I don't have a stationary setup here in the studio, not yet anyway, but this has worked out fine for years. And this setup also allows me to bring my recordings anywhere, you know, whether I'm at home or on a train or an airplane, doesn't matter. You know, I don't have to sit here in the studio to mix my drums. Now, the next thing you need to install on your computer is a DAW, or you can call it DAW. And this stands for Digital Audio Workstation. This is the software needed to be able to record and process the audio signals on your computer. I use Logic, a DAW made by Apple for Apple computers, but there's a bunch of different options of DAWs out there. You know, you got Pro Tools, Logic, Reaper, Ableton Live, Cubase, a bunch more. They all basically work in the same way. I'm just used to work in Logic and I find it very user-friendly, but whatever DAW you get will work. The only thing I will say is that I know that Pro Tools is like the industry standard for a lot of big studios to record with, but I tend to not like subscription services, and I actually want to buy a license once and then just be able to use it and update it as I go. Not to trash talk Pro Tools, but come on, there are cheaper options out there.
Fucking Pro Tools.
Now, I totally get if this feels a bit overwhelming to take in and that all of this seems very expensive. Which, in a sense, yeah, it can be. However, setting up your home studio has never been cheaper, actually. If you think about it, it's not that long ago that you had to rent a big studio in order to record your drums, and that's excluding the cost of the engineer. And I can't stress this enough. Buy a lot of the gear secondhand. If you're just starting out, you don't need brand new gear. The first interface and microphone kit that I bought was from eBay, and I got away insanely cheap. Before I wrap this up, I do want to mention that if getting all these microphones and other gear isn't for you, you can get something like the Yamaha EAD-10 or the newly released EAD-50, although the latter is much more expensive. The EAD-10 is essentially a trigger with 2 built-in microphones that you can clamp onto the hoop of your bass drum, and then it picks up the sound from your entire drum set. You can then record your drums with built-in reverb, compression, and other effects. I've seen a lot of drummers use this as a minimalistic mic setup, and the sound is actually pretty decent for what it is. The only downside with it, and this is just my personal opinion, but almost every drummer that I've heard using the EAD-10 sound almost exactly the same. And if that's what you're going for, by all means, get one. If you get it brand new, I think it costs between $550 and $600. But $600 will get you a lot of good secondhand microphones as well, or a really good interface. Part 2 of this series will be all about how to set up your drums and microphones for recording, so make sure you're a subscriber so you don't miss out on that. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and thank you so much for watching, everyone. Good luck with your drumming, and I'll see you in the next one.